we see that the mama bear, papa bear, and daddy bear have been spending more time in court than they have looking for the baby bear. So Mrs. Bullhorn Betty had court today. For any of you guys that didn't know, it seems like the bears took, step bear and mama bear and the grand bears, they took out protective orders on Bullhorn Betty, okay, today. Well, they took them out a while back, but they had court today for step bear, okay? The step bear, some people call him Sling Blade, some people call him Donald Duck, whatever voice he's using this week, okay? Whatever voice he's using this week. So apparently Bullhorn Betty has got silence, First Amendment rights thrown out the window. You got the right to shut the hell up, lady. That's what the judge said. She is no longer allowed to talk, speak. These people, the judge told her that the three little bears, well, the two little bears, okay, and the grand bears do not exist in her world anymore. So listen, I said a while back that they were setting up Bullhorn Betty. Did any of y'all remember when I went and had dinner with Molly Go Lightly, Molly Go Harder, Molly, remember Molly? Remember that lady? So when I was there sitting with dinner at Molly, I told Molly, I said, they're going to set Betty up, and she's too stupid to realize it because Daddy Bear put a battery in her back and wound it up, okay? And TikTok Bear, okay, that likes to, let's just say 1202, they wound up Bullhorn Betty. They stuck a little battery in her back and let her go crazy like the crazy lady that she is. And I knew it was a setup. I said, listen, these people want to blame Step Bear and Mama Bear, but they're cowards. They're scared to blame them, right? Because they don't want the backlash that comes with blaming these people. So they put Betty up to it, the spokesperson, the voice, right? Now, a PR person would have told, a real PR person would have said, hey, chill out, calm down, don't make a scene, right? Most important thing is getting baby bear home. That's what a real PR person would have said. But no, they wound this lady up and got her in a world of trouble. Now, once this lady's got her mind set on something, she just does not stop, okay? You have started that you would stop talking about this case multiple times. I'm not talking about the case. I'm talking about Bullhorn Betty, Susie Q, okay? I'm talking about Bullhorn Betty. And I also said if something goes on in this case, I would bring it up, but it would have to be something in the news, something newsworthy. And this is newsworthy, okay? It's on the news. We're about to show the news of it now. So this is technically an update, and basically, I'll talk about whatever I want, okay? When I want. When I don't want to talk about it, I won't talk about it. And the reason I said, hey, I ain't talking about this right now because there's too many clowns in town. But if you've noticed, a lot of the clowns have went away. The views on this kid are gone. They're like the people that were tragedy pimping this kid, they done moved on to other things. There ain't many people talking about this case anymore, right? So it ain't like I got to deal with all these crazy ass people. They're gone. Where they at? I'm looking around. I don't see them no more, okay? And for health reasons, I couldn't deal with a bunch of idiots, all right? Because you know what I went through? I had a damn heart attack. So I said, listen, for my health and while all these clowns are in town, I'm going to move on to something else. And I have. We've been talking about all kinds of shit, right? I've been taking y'all on adventures, talking Leilani Simon, Jen Soto, all kinds of things. Delphi, you name it, we've been talking about it. But today in the news, of course, Bullhorn Betty got slapped with the protective order, all right? So she's no longer allowed to even talk about this. Now, here's my thing about this. I'm a protector of your First Amendment rights. We have a constitution for a reason. We should have the right to voice our opinions up here. That's what YouTube is about. That's what everybody comes up here and does. They come up here and voice their opinions on what they think. They review things and just basically give their opinions on things. And I believe you should have that right. Now, there is a thin line that you don't want to cross, and that goes into harassing people, contacting people, and stalking people, things like that. Now, the question is, did that woman, Bullhorn Betty, did she cross that line? Now, I have mixed opinions about it. Some of the things she done was questionable, but some of the things she's doing, I think you have the right to do. You have the right to voice your opinion. If you suspect somebody, you can say you suspect them. But when you use the criminal system to go after somebody's voice, then maybe Dolly has a little bit of problem with that. Because if you're able to silence one person, when do you go on to try to silence the next person that thinks you're suspicious? Just like Bullhorn Betty, I think Mama Bear and Step Bear are suspicious. And I think a good majority of you guys do too, right? Are we all on the same page here? So if we're sitting up here saying she's suspicious and you want to go shoot a video in front of somebody's work, or you want to go drive past their house and look for the kid and hang up flyers, do you have that right? It's a slippery slope that we're on. That's all I'm saying. Now, can I justify some of the hateful, mean things she was saying and saying, you know, she didn't like to say, this is my opinion. She didn't like to say allegedly. Okay. Now that can end you up in a civil lawsuit. All right. Criminal. It ain't criminal to say, hey, they did it. Okay. It ain't criminal to say that. Now, if you was contacting them and they told you to leave them alone and you kept contacting them, then that would be criminal. All right. So I knew they were setting Bullhorn Betty up. If you go back months ago and watch the video of me sitting there at dinner with Molly, right? Because, you know, Molly's been riding Bullhorn's ass here lately. I told Molly, I said, look, they setting her up. She just don't know no better because she's a big fucking dum-dum and they're going to get her locked up. I mean, I must have had my crystal ball with me that day because I predicted it like clear as day. That's why Step Bear, okay, Mr. All these lawsuit happy ass people in 1202 did what they did because they didn't want to battle. They had her saying what they wanted to say, but they were too scared to say it. So they put this battery in the Bullhorn and handed it to the lady. But the problem is the judge done snatched the damn Bullhorn right out her damn hand, pulled a full-blown Dolly. I guess that judge don't like Bullhorns either. They triggering. I'm telling you, the Bullhorns are triggering. They'll trigger you quick as shit, right? So he done de-batteried the Bullhorn, and she's not allowed to talk about them whatsoever, right? And if she does, she's going to violate their protective orders once again. Now, she still has court for violating these protective orders. And the way the judge is acting, her ass is going to jail, okay? Like, they're going to put her in jail for violating these protective orders. She is pretty much hating it. And she has to pay the court fees, their lawyer fees. Now, how much money is it going to cost you in the end? Now, you know, she milked the shit out this case, right? Milked it. I'm sure she made a few bucks off of it, but it's going to cost her that to get out of trouble, right? Especially lawyer fees, your lawyer fees. Now you got to pay their lawyer fees, court costs, you know, and who ends up hitting that bill, right? Who ends up getting that bill? But, you know, Seth, AKA, had some little braids going on today, right? He had some little braids going. Who braided that man's hair? Okay. Who braided that damn man's hair? Did anybody see that? Or was it just me? Right? What grown ass man? Okay. What grown ass man walks into a courthouse with two cornrows in the side of his head? Now, Bullhorn Betty is going to be ended up with the one with the cornrows before this is all said and done. Right. And, you know, she has that, you know, that tough, rough exterior. You hear her going off and going crazy all the time. But if you ever notice in all her mugshots, she's crying. She ain't built for jail, right? Jail is not for everybody. Okay. Some people can take it. You know what I'm saying? Swoles. Some people can do it, right? It ain't pleasant, but some people can take it, right? There ain't too many mugshots of me crying. All right. Was JR her boyfriend braided? I don't know. I don't know what kind of relationship any of these people have. I don't keep up with it. It ain't my business, you know, who's banging who. But what I do know is she was basically a puppet, right? The real person that should be taking the heat for this is the person that stormed out the courtroom today with the braids, all right? Because he's the one that has orchestrated all this stuff. He's the one that made this a circus. He is the one that also has been blaming them, right? Just like with no proof, right? You can suspect somebody all day long. Betty is a dumbass. Don't stick up for her. I'm not sticking up for Betty. I'm sticking up for the right to talk and speak your opinion. Now, Betty go to jail. That's on Betty. Listen, if you campaign to go to jail and then you go to jail, I can't feel sorry for you. I can't. She wanted to go to jail. She said it. She said, I want to go to jail. Well, you're going to get what you want. But the whole thing is, I predicted this. I predicted this because you got to remember, I know Betty. I know how easy you can wind Betty up. And once she gets going, it ain't no stopping, right? Like, she don't know how to stop. It's not one of those things in her brain. I've been when we was in Georgia for the Leilani assignment, I was begging. I mean, straight begging Betty to stop. Betty, please stop. Please stop talking about the police. Please, you're going to get us in prison. You're going to get us in trouble. You attacking the police. Stop, right? I tell Betty to stop. She walked 3 foot away from me, get on her camera and talk about how bad damn Georgia police were, how corrupt they were. What was Chief Hatley, right? Chief Hatley this, Chief Hatley cheating on his wife, Chief Hatley banging Billy Joe. And I'm over there like, oh no. So when it went down, that's why they were so quick to put my ass in jail. Because Betty had the whole police department pissed off. And they took it out on me. Okay. They took it out on me. They didn't arrest nobody else for shit. Right. But they were like, we got a YouTuber now. Your ass is going to jail. Right. So, but I had begged her and begged her to stop. Like, could you stop? Could you stop? Could you stop doing this? Don't do it, Betty. Don't do it. Don't talk about the police. At least wait till I'm on an airplane to talk bad about the police. Because, listen, I don't trust the police. They're one of the biggest gangs in the fucking country. They ain't always the most honest people. And I didn't want to end up with some drugs on me when I don't want to do drugs. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, they search my car, finding a kilo of Colombian Bam Bam, and I'm going up the river for 15 years, right? And it cost me thousands. I can't even count the thousands it cost me to get out of trouble in Georgia over grabbing that damn bullhorn, right? Listen, people don't like bullhorns, right? Me and the judge in Tennessee, we got something in common. Neither one of us like bullhorns, okay? They're triggering. You got to snatch the batteries out and it's like, take that bitch, right? So basically, she's been shut down. But here's the thing. You can't shut down everybody. You may shut down Bullhorn Betty, right? You may shut her up, right? But everybody on the internet still thinks you're suspicious, right? No doubt. Anybody in here think they ain't suspicious? If you think they ain't suspicious, other than Cluminati because she's their best friend, I don't know what to say to you because everybody else thinks they're suspicious, all right? There's no doubt. 8 months in, the mom won't come out and speak on her kid, ain't begging the kidnapper to release the kid. That is suspicious as hell. Their behavior is so suspicious that it is unreal. All right. It is just unreal. And what are you going to silence everybody? Like, take that effort you're putting out there to go after YouTubers and go after your child. Go after your kid. Get out there on the news. You had every news camera out there today shooting shit about Bullhorn Betty. You could have took that opportunity to get your face on the news and get the word of your kid out there. And Tennessee, they looking at it probably the same way as us. You more worried about what's going on YouTube. If you don't like what people are saying on YouTube, don't watch it. Okay. Nobody forces you to watch any of it. Now, if somebody was calling you, bothering you like that, coming up and knocking on your door and you told them to get off your property and leave and shit, like, yeah, I have a weird, I don't like what Bullhorn Betty does. I don't like the shit she says. She's fucking rude and crude and all that. I think there's better ways of doing it, but is what she's doing illegal? I don't think so. I really don't. Not most of it. Okay, maybe the threat that I'll go get a firearm could be taken as a threat. But to see them take a protective order out on Betty today over, I understood Grandpa Bear. I got that because she got up in that old man's face and he looked generally scared, right? He might, old man could have a damn heart attack like Dolly, right? But Chris and his mullet, I couldn't see it, right? Step Bear, I just couldn't see, she's never contacted the man. Never done nothing to the man, right? Never made a threat to the man. How do you get a protective order on somebody you ain't never done nothing to? Okay. I had a lady on YouTube, right? Was coming to my work, making threats. My husband's going to knock you out, all kinds of shit. I got to try to take a protective order on this lady. They tell me basically, oh, hell no, she lives in a different state. Why are you worried about a woman? You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't do shit, right? To see somebody really be able to use, the courts as a weapon. And I truly believe that's what they done. They used the courts as a weapon. Who was scared of Betty, right? The woman is 4 foot tall at the max, okay? Have y'all ever seen Betty in person? She's like this tall, right? Just she's all bark, no bite, okay? No bite. So to use court systems as a weapon, and I know people hate Betty out here. I get it. I get the hate. I understand it. Trust me. I get why y'all hate this lady. I get it. But what is right is right. And what is wrong is wrong. It don't matter if somebody you hate. The law should be the law and it should be used fairly, right? Like, I don't see that as in, now, if she would have been going to, let's just say Step Bear's work while he was there trying to get him fired or something. Yeah, I get that. But showing up at that place and doing a story on it. Oh, well, was he here? Maybe he was here. And she's just shooting in front of it and not doing anything. I don't see that. Okay. I don't see that because listen, I do similar things. I drove by his house, right? I was droning around the neighborhood. I drove by the house. What did the neighbor say? 14 times, right? Do I not have the right to go out there and look for that kid? A lot of people were out there looking for that kid, right? This lady's putting up flyers and shit like that. Now, when she went up on the granddaddy bear, okay, that was a little bit different. That's where I say, okay, Granddaddy Bear should be able to take this protective order. I get it. I get it. But people taking protective orders you ain't never been around or never said nothing to personally, like because they don't like your opinion on the internet, that's bullshit. Okay. And that's starting to take rights away from people because who's next? Right? Just like you got all these other people on the other side trying to sue YouTubers for their opinions. When does that shit stop? Right? They're trying to shut down everybody that has an opinion or anybody that wants to talk about the case. That they're just trying to shut it down. And that's exactly what they want, because I truly believe none of the three little bears want this baby bear found. All right? I mean, that's my opinion. Who's next? Y'all think this Tennessee judge at the Wheaties, this one before, ate his Wheaties? I don't know if he ate his Wheaties or not. But it gets to a point where you can't weaponize the court system. It ain't right.